Well, it's a tour across Texas to taste test tacos. Sounds pretty good, huh? Favorite Delivery's Chief Taco Officer Chris Flores is back in San Antonio. He's from San Antonio, and he is joining us today to tell us all about the great adventure and brought us some samples here.
I couldn't come without bringing tacos.
I'm telling you, Chief Taco Officer come without
expected.
tacos. That's a problem,
It's expected,
right?
exactly.
Well, Chris, welcome back to San Antonio. We're glad to have you home and can't wait to hear about your trip. So before we dig in, because we're going to have some of this, but first of all, talk about the taco tour. Where did you go? What were some of the highlights, cool places? And I know you're going to say San Antonio first, so we'll go to second best, right?
Well, actually, so I've left San Antonio for the end. I always told everyone when I get to San Antonio, I got to take my time. So I'm going to save it for the last because I live San Antonio.
Yeah.
I started in Dallas. From there, I went to Corpus, the Rio Grande Valley, El Paso, Waco, Austin, Houston. I've pretty much hit all the major cities in Texas.
Okay, so this is my first question for you. With all those big cities out there, there's got to be a ton of wonderful tacos out there. But did you find any hidden gems, maybe in a small town somewhere, or maybe just, big town?
I did. So one of my favorite food trucks that I found was in Fort Worth.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, a place called Tacos Adrix. And it just blew my mind. It was so good that I went back twice to make sure, 2 separate days, because I had to be sure. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It blew my mind.
Okay, and so you traveled to all these cities, and I know, talk about what other things, because I'm sure you had, met a lot of people and got some other tips, cool stuff along the way.
I did. I think one of the coolest things is just to learn how tacos differ from every city, and they just change, right? So like when you're down in the Valley or El Paso, you have more of a traditional type of taco. You come to San Antonio, the Corpus, very similar taco vibes. Got really big breakfast taco like culture.
Oh yeah.
As you move up towards Dallas, you get more of like a fusion. A lot of people putting Korean food and these kinds of things in there. So it's just cool to see the full spectrum of how the tacos impacted Texas.
Yeah. And Chris, I can hear you talking about this, and I can just feel your passion for this, right? I can see it. I can feel it. How did you get this position, and where does it go from here?
Well, so 5 years prior to getting this position, I was covering tacos here in town locally, just on my own.
Yeah.
Favorite put out there looking for a chief taco officer, and I was like, this is it. I was like, this is it. This is my chance to shine. So I applied, and I got the job after it took interviews and creative challenges, these kinds of things, and I finally got the job. I started in June actually traveling, so I've been hitting cities. It hasn't been one continuous tour, but every month I'm going to different cities, right?
Yeah. He's got to be home, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, Chris, you brought us some samples today. Tell us about what we're looking at here.
Sure. So these are from Naco, which is located on 410 in Nacogdoches. It's a food truck. And then from Pete's Taco House, which is a San Antonio staple.
Yeah.
The reason I picked these two was just because the differences of the tacos. If you look, Naco has more of like a northern Mexico to Mexico City. So like the flour tortillas you can see, they're a lot different than the Tex-Mex thick flour tortillas that we all know here in San Antonio.
Okay, what's your favorite though? Because I'm going to try one of these.
Okay.
And then we're going to eat them all after the show.
So yeah, exactly. So I would say that if the brisket, egg, and cheese, you can never go wrong with brisket, egg, and cheese. And I mean, carne guisada with cheese tortilla, they're all my favorite. It's kind of like my kids. I don't have a favorite. Right? Like I love them all the same.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to try this. And in the meantime, Chris, I want you to talk about the different salsas and everything.
Sure.
What's the best? What do you recommend as top dog taco officer?
So what I basically do is anything that has egg, I always put red sauce. I just kind of feel that red sauce. Growing up, we always had red sauce with our eggs, and anything other than that gets green sauce. And there's so many different. There's avocado salsa. I mean, there's so many different variations, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things about going to all these taquerias is seeing how they've put their spin. Their culture, it's just a beautiful thing to see.
And you can taste it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's one of my favorites right there.
Tell us again where these are from.
So this is from Naco. They're on 410 in Nacogdoches, and then Pete's Taco House, like I said, which is a San Antonio staple. They've been pushing out over 40 years. Tacos out there downtown on I think it's on Avenue B and Brooklyn Avenue, around that area.
Well, Chris, what happens next? You're home and have a lot to take with you.
Sure. Well. So I'll say this isn't the end of my journey. So it's going to be TBD.
Something else.
TBD, yeah, exactly. I've never said that publicly, but TBD. But I promise this isn't going to be the last of the CTO.
Okay, now I'm really curious. So you're going to be talking tacos for a lot longer then. Anything else, maybe? Are you going to bring in something else? Or?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. We're working on a lot of different ideas, and I think that what's coming next, everyone's going to love. We're just going to expand on the idea, and it's going to be a pretty fun ride.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you, Do you have anything else? Do you like, I'm going to get some pizza today. I need to stick with the tacos.
So I'll say this, I love tacos. I grew up eating tacos. I always tell people, like, to me, a tortilla with butter is like the Mexican Gerber. That's what I started off eating. Like, we didn't have Gerber, that's what we had. So I do, I mean, pizza's my second favorite food. Maybe it's because I can fold it in half and it's like a big taco. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But
cheap pizza officer doesn't quite sound as good, right?
No, I think that tacos, I mean, this is where my love is and my passion. And it's really the food, the genre that I know the most about also.
Yeah, we can definitely tell that and we can taste it too. All right, Chris, thanks for joining us today. And I love the medals with the HEB favor.
Right.
And then you spin it, it's only tacos, no pizza allowed, right?
Yeah, next week I'll be giving them out. So if you go to our social media favor, you'll see I'll be all around the city.
And that's where we can find out what happens with you next.
Absolutely.
And recommendations.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Can't wait to hear what happens on your journey next.